Hi everyone, today I wanted to try something different for the Misty and Blue videos because I want to explain how I train our birds. Text would take too long to read, so I thought I would try with a voiceover instead. So I've been training our birds for about a week now. It's been a very slow process because they are quite old and they are not used to interacting with humans that much. But we did make some progress, so that's what I want to show in this video today. So the type of training I am using for our birds is called click training, and it's based on positive reinforcement, and you need only 3 things to do this kind of training. You need a clicker or something that makes a clicking sound. I am just using a pen because it makes more or less the same sound and it works well. And then you need a reward for your birds. It would be their favorite treat. For our birds that's millet, but you can also use other things like seeds or fruit or vegetables, whatever your birds like most. And then you also need a target stick, but that is something that we are not using yet during this part of the training, but I will come back to that in another video. The concept of click training is that you first make a clicking sound and then you offer a treat to your birds, and that way they will associate the click sound with getting a treat. And because budgies are such sensitive creatures, they need a lot of time to get used to something new, so I recommend starting very slowly. We didn't do much the first week. I just repeated the same step every day so they can really get used to the training process. So the first day all I did was stand in their room and make the click sound, and then I would offer them a treat. And they were just looking at me. They didn't come to the treat because they were too scared, but that is okay because usually they just need more time. But if you are consistent and keep doing that step every day, you will see that they will get more and more used to the training, and they will actually come to you for the treat. So you just need to be patient and consistent, and then you will be surprised to see that they understand what you are doing, and that after a day or some days they will understand that when you make the clicking sound they will get a treat, and then they will come every time that you make the clicking sound and you offer the treat, then they will come to you. Actually, on the first training day, Cyan did come once to get the treat, but I made the mistake of removing the treat too fast, and then he got scared and he just flew away and he didn't come back again that day. So when you are doing the training, I recommend to give the treat long enough so that they really feel rewarded for coming when you ask them to come. So you want to give them like 5 seconds or something to really eat the treat before you remove the treat. So that was a lesson I learned during the first training day. Hello birds. It's time for training day number 2. So on day number 2 I basically just continued with the same process. I stood there and offered first I made the click sound, then I offered a treat. This day I think they didn't come at all, but they did at least learn to associate the click sound with the treat, which is the most important part during this phase of the training. Day number 3 went a bit differently because this time Cyan was sitting on the cage when I started, and then he took part in the training actively because he was already there. So we made quite some progress there. Not only was I able to help him associate the click sound with the treat, this time he also experienced eating the treat, which really helps in strengthening the effect of the training. Like when they eat the treat, they start to really make progress. And then Spiky even came because he saw that Cyan was eating the treat. So that was great progress. So 2 of our 3 birds took part actively in this training day. So you see, we are consistent and you just keep trying, and most importantly you just have patience, and you also need enough what's the word, you need to use the same kind of method every day, because Budgies like it when things go the same way every time. So I usually stood in the same way and I clicked at the same moments and offered the treats in the same way, and like that they feel more comfortable and they are more likely to learn from the training. So as you can see, this day was a very good day. Cyan and Spiky were both taking part in the training. Misty didn't, but Misty is a very shy bird, so I trust that at some points he will also start to come. He just needs more time than the other 2 birds. But I was very glad about this training day. Cyan and Spiky were really learning to associate the click sound with the treat, and we made great progress. Day number 4 was a bit disappointing because we didn't make any more progress. The birds just stayed where they were and they didn't feel like coming for their treat. But that's okay because they still learned that I will come every day, offer them a treat, and it just further established the concept of click sounds and treats in their heads. It's important to do at least 1 session every day, because that consistency is what will give you progress in the end. So we just moved on to the next day. Hello birds! Day number 5 was more or less the same as day number 4. The birds were just staring at me, or well, they were just busy cleaning their feathers. But we just did another session and stayed consistent, and that is most important in training your budgies. So we moved on to day number 6. On day number 6 I was quite hopeful because I saw Cyan sitting at the cage, but as I approached him he got scared and he flew away. So then I ended up just doing the same as the other 2 days. I just made the click sounds and I offered the treats, and yeah, at some point they will start coming because they get very used to seeing me and to hearing the clicks, and they know, because they are very intelligent creatures, they know that they are gonna get treats. So once they get less scared, they will also come to me and we can make more progress. In the end, Cyan and Spiky actually surprised me and they came down from the window to get a bit of millet. So on day, what day is it? Day 6, we did make some progress. Cyan went back to the window, as you can see, but then I was there with Spiky for a bit. So at least Cyan and Spiky overcame a bit of their fear and we saw some more progress. That's a breakthrough. Yes? Well done. We'll continue tomorrow, okay? Good morning, everyone. Are you ready? This day I noticed that the birds were really not in the mood for a training. They were actually kind of sleeping. So some days your birds will be very eager to train, and other days they just don't feel like it. And that's okay. Then you just repeat the same steps for a bit, and then you stop and you try the next day. And that's not a problem at all, because what's most important with training budgies is just being consistent and not giving up, and you will see that in the end your work will pay off. On day 8 we were trying something a bit different because the birds were downstairs with us, and it was interesting to see because they were inside of their cage, and like that they were more willing to train. You cannot see it very well, unfortunately, but whenever I offered the millet, Spiky and Cyan came, and surprisingly even Misty came to eat a bit of the millet at some point. So that's the first time that Misty also takes part in the training, so that's great progress. This was the last training day that we did so far. We just repeated the same things. We did the clicking with the pen, and then we offered treats. And as you can see, this time Misty is very involved in the training, which is very promising. And for that reason I also let them eat the treat a bit longer, because like that they have a more positive association with the training. And so this was the last training session that we did so far, and I think the association with the click sound and the treat is established enough to move on to the next step. And the next step is to introduce the target stick, but I will leave that for our next video about how I am training our 3 birds. I hope this was somehow helpful for you. If you have any questions about this video or about something else, feel free to ask in the comments. And yeah, if you have any tips on how you train your budgies, that's also very welcome. And for now, I think we'll leave it at this. And soon I hope I can make another video to show you how we are progressing with our training. And yeah, thank you for watching and listening, and see you in the next video. Bye!